So all soldering is a way to connect two wires together to make sure they're joined completely. And instead of just twisting them, you actually attach them with metal, and that's what makes the join so strong. So if you look at these two, I just joined these two black wires and these two yellows. They're nice and strong, but they could twist apart. And I'll show you how that happens. So let's just take a regular lamp and connect it to a power supply. So we have our two wires, and we're going to twist together each side, and it lights up, yay. But what happens if we leave these wires and they start vibrating or shaking around, or they're out of sight? And look what happens. They might come apart and our light goes out. So therefore we want to solder these. In a soldering iron, you can find these at a hardware store, home supply store, stuff like that, online. They're all basically the same. I got 3 different ones here. Each one looks a little bit different, but they basically do the same thing. This one has a little set of lights, which is kind of nice because it shines on your work. All of them have this pointed tip here at the end, and that's where all the heat comes out. You want to make sure you don't touch that because it's very, very hot. And that's the part we're going to touch to the wires with a little bit of flux to join those two sides together and stick them together permanently. So one thing you'll need to make soldering work and to make the metal stick together is called solder. And it's basically a metallic alloy with a rosin core that when it heats up, melts, and then it solidifies once you've attached the metal together. And this stuff is called rosin or flux, and it just helps to make the solder stick together really fast and easily. I like to take a little toothpick in a little container and just apply a little bit to my wires while I'm doing the soldering. You'll find that it helps you get your soldering done quickly and efficiently. So the first thing we'll do, apply a little bit of the flux or the rosin to the wires, like yay. Meanwhile, your soldering iron should be nice and hot. You'll know it's hot if you stick it into your solder and it melts it. There's 2 ways to do it. You could hold the solder up to the wires, or you could do it like I do and just kind of dab the iron into the solder and get a little bit on the tip there, like that. Come in with your hot tip full of your molten solder and fix it in place. As you can see, being very hot, it grabs to the flux and the wires, and it sets up in about 2 seconds. Blow on it a little bit if you're unsure, and you should be good to go. So one thing you want to make sure is that you don't touch those wires together. Make sure the yellow doesn't touch the black and the black doesn't touch the yellow. And to keep those from touching each other, it's good to use some kind of insulator like electrical tape. This is made from rubber, so it'll guarantee that those 2 connections won't touch each other. Just wrap it around each side separately and twist it tight. Now, I do get a little nervous about the glue on the tape coming undone over the years, so I do put a little dab of glue or a few drops of glue on each side of the tape just to make sure it holds tight in the coming months and years. If you secure everything up and it's nice and tightly soldered, your work should last for a long, long time.